All right, y'all, grab a glass of water and pop open that Soma bottle. We're about to wash our feelings away. Because this ain't your granddad's dystopia. Brave New World isn't what happens when the world doesn't go down in flames. It just slowly slides into a perfectly air-conditioned hellscape while everyone's too blissed out to care. You think TikTok's turning your brain into pudding? Friends, Huxley saw that coming back in 1932. This ain't a boot stamping on your face like in 1984. It's worse. This is a world where Big Brother doesn't need to watch you, because you're too busy watching yourself in the mirror while microdosing mood stabilizers and getting dopamine from government-sanctioned orgies. Aldous Huxley didn't give us a cage, he gave us a day spa with no exits. In a brave new world, you're not oppressed by fear, you're oppressed by comfort. And the worst part? You're fine with it. So welcome to the Central London Hatchery and Conditioning Center, where babies aren't born, they're mass-produced like Funko Pops. Here, the human race is grown in glass tubes and chemically tampered with until they're exactly as intelligent, attractive, and obedient as society needs. They call it the Bokanovsky process, and it's like the worst version of cloning meets factory farming. Here, one fertilized egg becomes 96 identical people. No personalities, no ambitions, just plug-and-play labor units with smiles programmed at birth. In a brave new world, the society is broken down into castes, each one color-coded like a failed Power Rangers reboot. Top of the chain are your alphas. They wear gray. They're tall, they're ripped, they're smart. You know, your engineers, scientists, and leaders. They read books and don't drool on themselves. Up next, you got your betas. They wear purple or mulberry, kind of like purple. If you've ever seen a mulberry tree, you know what I'm talking about. These betas, they have decent IQs, they have good looks, and they're not too rebellious. They're kind of like your upper middle class NPCs. Your gammas up next in green, they're your average Joes doing mid-tier tasks. Think middle management at Arby's. Second to last are your deltas dressed in khaki. These individuals are dumbed down and designed for repetitive labor. Your forklift drivers, your line cooks, and people who restock frozen peas. Rounding out the bottom is your epsilons. They're dressed in black. These are the lowest of the low. They've got stunted growth, no critical thinking skills, built for the kind of jobs that make you think, how is this even still legal? Don't worry though, they love it. Why? Because they've been brainwashed since birth through training called hypnopedia or sleep training. Every night, they hear things like, I'm so glad I'm a gamma, over and over and over. Kind of like a lo-fi brainwash playlist. And if that's not enough, they're raised in environments that reinforce their destiny. Epsilons are exposed to low oxygen and alcohol in the artificial womb. Alphas get the best nutrients and brain stimulation. This is prenatal eugenics on a corporate budget. Individuality? Personal dreams? Aspirations? Nope. You don't get to ask, what do I want to be when I grow up? You were built for a job before your zygote had knees. Next up, let's kill the concept of family like it's a TikTok challenge. In the world state, parents are disgusting. I mean that quite literally. Mother and father are considered dirty words. Say mom in public and people react as if you just farted in the elevator going to the 55th floor. There are no families, no marriages, no homes, just state-run baby farms and factory daycare. Emotional intimacy? Banned. Monogamy? That's sus behavior. Sex? Mandatory and state-approved. The official policy of a brave new world is everyone belongs to everyone else. You're expected to sleep around as part of your civic duty. If you get attached to one partner, it's treated like a dangerous mental illness. Relationships have been replaced with pleasure quotas. It's kind of like the IRS tracking how often you get it on to make sure you're meeting your civic duty. Dating apps? That's a joke. This society makes Tinder look like Victorian courtship. The only thing more forbidden than celibacy is catching feelings. Why? Because attachments and feelings create jealousy. Jealousy causes conflict, and conflict breaks the machine. So they got rid of the software update called Love and replaced it with Solidarity Services, which are basically orgies with hymns sprinkled with state-sponsored LSD. It's like if Burning Man had HR protocols. What I'm saying is I want you to imagine a society run by a bunch of people who read way too many Reddit threads about how feelings are inefficient. That's the dating scene in a brave new world. Zero attachments, maximum efficiency, and group sex Thursdays. However, every dystopia has its vice. In 1984, it was fear. Brave New World has Soma. Soma is a state-issued antidepressant, stress reliever, and social lubricant, and spiritual stand-in. It's a one-pill-fits-all solution to literally every problem. Have a breakup? Take a Soma. Stressed at work? Take a Soma. Existential dread because your life has no meaning? Double Soma. Witness a death? That's a Soma holiday, my guy. It's non-addictive, allegedly, comes in chewable format, liquid format, and gives you a mini vacation from reality. Doesn't have any crash. Soma doesn't fix your problems. It erases your awareness they even existed. In a Brave New World, there is no religion, there is no therapy, there is no grief. Just chemically induced calm. This is the heart of Huxley's message. You don't need to enslave people with chains if you can distract them with pleasure. After a bit of time, the human glitch in the Matrix enters the chat in the form of a guy named John. John, he was born naturally, like with a mother and a father. And I know we established that that doesn't happen anymore, and it's a bit sus if it does. However, there are these savage reservations. It's kind of like a fenced-in human zoo where traditional life still exists. You know, dirt, disease, aging, monogamy, things that make life real. As John was growing up, he was allowed to read Shakespeare and develops a real moral code, something no one in the world state even remembers how to have. He's basically a tragic hero in a world of dopamine junkies. Now that we've been introduced to John and follow his story for a bit, we introduce Bernard Max. Bernard Max is an insecure alpha who behaves like a delta. He sees John and decides to bring him back to London for some clout. And at first, John's kind of treated like a celebrity, a real-life curiosity in the world that killed off curiosity decades ago. John, however, is horrified by the model. He sees people hooking up without feelings, avoiding pain instead of facing it, living without truth. John even watches his own mother overdose on Soma. And the horrifying part of this is the nurses casually move along to the next person. John wants something authentic. He wants love. He wants tragedy. He wants beauty. He wants sacrifice. But there's no room for that in the Brave New World. So what does John do? Just like in all of our other stories, he rebels. He gathers up bunches of Soma, tossing it out the window, flushing it down the toilets. He starts preaching to strangers. He refused to participate in the orgies. And ultimately, he gets into a philosophical duel with a guy by the name of Mustafa Mond. And he's one of the elite world controllers. So in this philosophical debate, John gets a sit down with Mustafa Mond. Now think of Mustafa as Dumbledore if he ran a pharmaceutical cartel. This man is cool, he's collected, and fully aware of what he's doing. Now Mustafa does explain, yes, the world state gave up truth, art, science, love, religion, and all the juicy things that make life hard. But it was worth it, because now the world is stable. No more wars, no more depression, no more uncertainty. Everyone's happy because they've forgotten how to want anything different. John argues that people need struggle, pain, freedom, and meaning. Mond counters that people had all that once, and they used to make war, misery, and TikTok reaction videos. So they voted for comfort instead. So at this point, John says, I claim the right to be unhappy. And Mond's like, go be unhappy. So John does. He isolates himself in the countryside, tries to detox from his poison, whips himself as penance, and tries to love authentic. But the world won't let him. He becomes a tourist attraction. Crowds show up to film like a reality show. They don't understand him. They just want content. They want to watch him hurt himself, like he's some kind of influencer doing a pain challenge. Eventually, John, overwhelmed by a world that turned emotion into clickbait, unalives himself. Because when everyone else is numb and you're the only one still feeling, being alive is unbearable. So what's the point of all this? Huxley isn't warning us about Big Brother watching us. No, he's warning us about Big Brother distracting us with free Wi-Fi, Ubers, and medication that keeps us from asking us why we hate our job. It's not a dictatorship. It's a theme park with no exits. No one's forcing you to obey. You're just too damn comfortable to care. It's the future where dissent is unfashionable, pain is inconvenient, and freedom, that's bad for the economy. So yeah, it's not scary like 1984. It's scarier because in a Brave New World, we asked for it. It isn't saying the government will crush you. It is saying you're gonna crush yourself for comfort. So Gen X, you were the last analog generation. You saw the rise of the internet, the fall of trust, and the birth of the infinite scroll. You warned everyone about selling out, but the government didn't need to buy you out. They just distracted you till you stopped caring. You didn't lose the war, you just put it on mute. Millennials, first time addressing you, me included, we were told to chase passion and balance debt. We try to find meaning in side hustles like this and memes, and with every burnout, it's met with treat yourself. We value authenticity, but be careful. If we are always managing our feelings, we may very well forget how to feel them. Brave New World is already whispering to us millennials with every push notification. Gen Z, you are swimming in Soma already. No, it's not pills though. It's content. Endless, curated, numbing content. Every feeling is treatable. Every pain is skippable. Every truth is customizable. But if you never feel real pain, you'll never feel real joy either. Don't trade your soul for serenity. Don't choose numb. Choose real. All in all, Huxley wasn't warning us about tyrants. He was warning us about comfort. Because when pleasure becomes the point of life, you forget how to live. Pain, struggle, longing, these things suck, but they kind of also make us human. A world without suffering isn't heaven, it's a zoo. So ask yourself honestly, are you free or are you just entertained? Until the next one, peace.